What is the number one mistake beginners make in interactions? Well, shit. That's only hard because there are so damn many, right? And it's only hard because so many of the mistakes beginners make are absolute deal breaker mistakes, right? At an advanced level, the mistakes you're gonna make will be, subtle little things. At a beginner level, the mistakes you make fundamentally are mistakes that you're just done if you make them. So I'm gonna give you a couple just because I have to. Okay, the first one is not approaching, right? Number one beginner mistake, literally, as much as not the most interesting one to talk about, is not fucking approaching, is not taking action, not talking to girls, not stepping up and doing that. Second biggest beginner mistake, though, is not getting to the point. Not getting to the point, right? Not doing what I call establishing premise. Basically, imagine that you were to go to a car lot to go buy a car, and you're having a discussion with the car salesman, and he takes half an hour and never mentions the word car, and never mentions the idea of buying anything. Never fucking gets to the point. At some point, even if he seems like a nice guy, you're gonna leave because why? Because he's wasting your time. Because the conversation is fucking going nowhere because it's pointless, right? And literally when I watch student infield all the time. I watch beginner student infield, and the poor girls, even if they like the guy like initially, he just doesn't get to the point. Eventually she's like, well, I don't know why we're here anymore. You're wasting my time. And then she says, well, nice to meet you. I have to go. And what I've come to realize over like the last 6 months is that most of the time, nice to meet you, I have to go, is not I don't like you. It's not even like necessarily I'm bored by you. What it actually is you're not getting to the point, I don't know what this is, so it's either a waste of my time or just to get out of like the awkwardness of not knowing, I'm just gonna leave, right? So the biggest fucking mistake that I see once actually you've done the approach as a beginner is not getting to the fucking point. There's actually a great scene in the movie Fight Club. We should check out this scene and watch it. It's Edward Norton and Brad Pitt's characters. And basically Edward Norton's like furniture just blew out into like the street, and so he needs a place to stay. And he calls up Brad Pitt. They have like a pitcher of beer, they're whatever. Into the night, Edward Norton's like, yeah, I should go get a hotel. And Brad Pitt's character is like, what? What are you talking about? Just ask, man. And Edward Norton's like, ask what? He's like, man, pitcher of beer, you still can't ask? He's like, what do you mean ask, right? Look, you need a place to stay. He's like, no, I don't want to put you out, right? Eventually, after a big period of time, he finally asks, and Brad Pitt's like, yeah, sure, fine, right? The fact of the matter is, he was there for a reason. He was there because he needed a place to stay, but he won't get to the point because he's too fucking scared to get to the point. He's embarrassed or scared or whatever to admit that he's there for a reason, that he's there for a purpose, that there's any kind of like, ulterior motive, whatever, right? He's embarrassed by it, right? And I think most beginners are fundamentally embarrassed that they're talking to a girl. They're fundamentally embarrassed by sex. They're embarrassed by showing any sort of interest or any sort of idea that it might be man to woman in any way. And so they hold back. And they just they hope. They cross their fingers and hope that it will come up naturally. They hope that she'll like the guy enough to make a move. And it just doesn't fucking happen that way. It doesn't. As a man, you have to be the one to establish this man to woman. You have to be the one to actually make something happen, okay? You've got to actually get to the point, right? And so if the girl leaves without knowing that you are a man and that there was a possibility of it being man to woman, without knowing that there's a man to woman nature, that's a problem. Now, that said, a lot of people, the big question in game is how do you show interest without being needy, right? And that's another reason why guys don't show interest is they're scared of being needy. The idea is to show that if something happens between you and the girl, it will be man to woman. It's not to necessarily show that something will happen, right? It's the same idea of like if you had a company and you were offering a job, right? You're saying to the applicant, I have this job at my company, you can come apply for it. You're not saying, hey, I'm giving you this job. So that's the fundamental frame you should be taking as anybody, but as a beginner, right? Is this idea that, hey, there's this position in my life of girlfriend, you're being interviewed for it. You're a possible candidate for the position of girlfriend. However, it's not, hey, will you be my girlfriend given that I know nothing about you and I'm desperate and need a girlfriend? And the reason I point this out is, one, it'll help you to show interest in a better way or show premise in a better way is a better way of saying it. But two, hopefully when you know that you can get to the point without giving your power away, you know that you can get to the point without being needy and desperate and pathetic, hopefully that will help you get to the point. Because again, most beginners fundamentally just don't get to the point. Okay? So I think I've made my point. hopefully. And I hope you enjoyed that. If you have more questions, ask them below, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.